Hi, I'm Maria Langer, and I'm looking a little disheveled today, probably because I spent a lot of time drying cherries today. But I thought I would take a moment to give you a little behind the scenes look at the helicopter setup. How do I get those great videos? How do I get that great audio? And here's the secret. So one of the components to my video setup is this ancient GoPro Hero 3 camera. And it's the key to this camera is it has to be in one of the skeleton cases so that it's got openings on both sides to access it. And this particular case, I managed to lose a part that holds it all together, so I have a big fat clip on there. So now I'm outside the helicopter and I'm looking at the back, and you can see that fancy schmancy clip that I've got holding the whole case together. That's not important. That's actually kind of embarrassing. What I do want to show you though is you see that wire coming out of the back of the GoPro? That is a battery replacement doodad that I got, and I honestly can't remember who makes them, but I also know that they don't make them for GoPro, the newer GoPro models. I think the Hero 3 was the last one they made it for. What's neat about this thing is it goes into the back of the camera in place of the battery, and then it runs a cable down and I can plug it into a USB power source. So I don't have to worry about battery power, and anyone who uses a GoPro for extended lengths of time can tell you that the GoPro batteries generally are pretty bad, and that's being kind. So that's my secret there, and I'll show you in a minute where I plug those in. So we're back inside now, and I'll show you that cable comes down, and I've got it clipped there with a little clamp. I don't like any loose cables. I like everything to be secured. So that cable comes down, and right now I've got it plugged into my power source. This is normally where I plug in my iPad and my iPhone. I use my iPad in flight, and my phone, obviously I have to sometimes use that in flight too. So that black cable is the one out of the GoPro. However, what I normally do is I plug it into a little power bank, and you can see it's stuck in there behind my fire extinguisher out of the way. So I would run that cable down the other side and secure it there, and it would go into that little power source. That particular one is a 10,000 milliamps, and it can run a GoPro all day long. The trouble is that it's dead now because I left the camera on overnight because I'm an idiot, and so it was dead, and that's why I had to plug it into the helicopter today. So that's the battery source for my ancient GoPro Hero 3. And this camera is looking at me in flight. You can see some examples in some recent videos. The one to Crescent Bar is a good example. Because it's the one pointing at me, it's also the one that I take the audio feed from. And that's what that other cable is. That's this one here. And this is an N-Flight cam cable. And the way it works is they have airplane versions, and they also have helicopter versions. This obviously is the helicopter version. And the only thing that's different is what's at the other end. So if you follow that cable up, it becomes a curly cord, which I really would like to secure up here. Got to work on that. And I got it clipped up at the top there. And then it runs over to here, and it goes into my intercom outlet. Now I've got two intercom inputs because this helicopter is equipped for both standard helicopter headsets and also the Bose headsets. So right now it's in the standard helicopter headset jack. Now if you only have one headset jack, which is a lot of people, then you need something to plug your headset into if you need that jack. So the N-Flight Cam comes with this device here, which will allow you to plug in a regular headset. I'm not using that now. I actually don't have my any headsets in other than mine. So the second camera I've got in my setup is a brand new GoPro Hero 7 Black, and I splurged on this to try to make better videos. The main reason I wanted this is because it has less vibration. It gets the vibration out of the images using stabilization in the camera, and that's a really handy thing. So although the Hero 7's battery is a lot better than the battery on a Hero 3, which is my other camera, it isn't really perfect. Oop, that's me doing terrible video here. It's better for me just to stick the camera somewhere and let the camera do the work than me move around, but okay, we'll just suffer through this. So I've got this connected to power. I took the little side door off, and then I've got that power cable running over here in this makeshift battery pack suspension thing, a lot of rubber bands, which I'm not very happy with right now, but that's what I've got. I need to make something more permanent. And this is another one of those 10,000 milliamp battery packs. And this one had power in it, and it was powering the camera during my most recent flight. And it usually does power it. And I like to keep it out of the way, and I like it up there because if it falls down, which it's not going to do, it hasn't done it yet, but if it does fall down, it'll fall down and not into the flying area, my flying area. So that's the power situation for that. This here is the in-flight cam cable that would run from the GoPro Hero 7 to the intercom system. And I'm not using that right now. I have to thank the folks at In-Flight Technology for giving me a little discount on this to make it more affordable for me as I'm trying to expand my video setup. Thanks very much, folks. This isn't the first one I've bought. I mean, I bought the other one that I mentioned earlier, so this is just the second one to use with a Hero 7. What's neat about this version, I haven't figured out what this is for yet because I haven't looked at the book yet. It's still in its original packaging there. What's neat about this is this here would plug into the camera. Now, on a Hero 7, the power is the same outlet as the audio. So that's a problem because if I need to power it with external power, how would I do that? Well, these folks got it covered because what they did here is they put an external power port on here so I could still plug in using the regular GoPro 7 power cord. I could still plug in my battery pack or another power source. So that's a great thing. And so the way this whole thing comes together in flight is this. When I start the helicopter and I'm waiting for it to warm up, I will turn on this camera and I'll get the video feature working. So it's already recording video. And then I will turn on this camera and the same thing, it'll get the video going. And then to sync them up, what I do is I literally clap my hands between the two cameras, and that gives me something to lock onto to make sure that I'm able to sync them both up. Now, this camera here has the audio in, and again, that comes back to my intercom system. So it's picking up only the sound that comes through my intercom system. So that would be me talking on the intercom, any passengers talking on the intercom, and any radio communications. All that comes through the intercom system. So that's what you would be hearing. It would lock out any sound from the helicopter because the helicopter sound does not play through the intercom system. Some of my videos with me talking do not have any helicopter sound, and that was bothering a lot of people. So that's why I introduced sound from this camera. Now this camera has no audio input on it other than its regular audio input. So the whole time I'm flying, it's recording the audio of the helicopter itself. So when I bring the videos together in my editing software, what I do is I take the audio from the helicopter, from this audio video file, and I tone it down to 25% of regular volume because you don't want to hear it at 100%. You just want that little background hum so you know that there's a helicopter operating. And then this one here, I normally use at 100%. So you can hear my voice, you can hear anybody in the cockpit with me, and you can hear the radio communications. That's my whole setup. Oh, I should mention one other way that I'm mounting them. I'm using the GoPro suction cup mounts, and they are very, very stable. GoPro says you could do them up to 200 miles an hour, which might give some people the idea they could put it on the outside of an aircraft. I would not do that. I've got it mounted on the inside, and even though I've never had one fall in all the years that I've been using them, I still mount it on the passenger side where there are no controls. So if it falls, it'll probably hit the corner of the panel and it'll fall into my footwell here. It'll not go to where I'm sitting, which is important. And then this one here, unfortunately, it's mounted in a spot that gives people a great passenger view of me flying. But if I have a passenger, I can't leave it there because then it would be like in their face. And passengers don't generally want to sit in the back when the front seat's available. So then I have to come up with an alternative spot for this camera. So this one moves around a little bit. I just want to say that my goal is to get a second GoPro Hero 7 black camera that I can use to replace this Hero 3. And then I would use this brand spanking new cable to get my audio in, and that would sound wonderful. And then the added bonus would be that I could take that Hero 3 and every once in a while I can hang it on the outside of the helicopter. I've got some really good sturdy mounts that I trust, that I've used before, that doesn't make it fall. They're mounts that would comply with FAA regulations regarding putting things on the aircraft. And that would give us a third view, which would be especially neat when I come in for landing somewhere, or if I'm drying cherries or doing something really cool. So right now I'm trying to raise money to get another Hero 7. And you folks can help if you like. The best thing you can do is subscribe and tell your friends. And also, I've got some merchandise for sale now, some t-shirts and a mug and a sticker. And man, if you were to buy one of those, that just adds a little bit to the kitty and makes it possible for me to upgrade my system. So think about that. If you like these videos, you want to keep them coming, subscribe and do what you can to support me. Thanks very much for checking in. I hope you learned something. Take care. Bye.